Posting transactions to the wrong period is especially problematic near the end of a fiscal year or period. In this tutorial, we'll show how you can use features in the fiscal calendar and company profile to control GL postings at period end. So let's jump right in and get started. In Common Services, we'll open the fiscal calendar, and you can see that all of the year's fiscal periods are defined here. Notice that each period has a status, and we can toggle the status between locked and unlocked by double-clicking. Importantly, locking a period prohibits posting of transactions to that period in the general ledger. For our examples, our login date will be June 30th, 2010, so we'll be posting to period 6 of 2010, which we'll leave locked, and let's click Save and close the screen. Now we'll open the company profile, and let's look at the Options tab. There's a feature here that allows us to set what happens when you attempt to post to a locked period in a subledger. Let's set it to Error, and we'll save and close the screen. Now let's attempt to post a transaction to a closed period and see what happens. Order Entry is a good module to use for this demonstration, so we'll open OE Transactions and open an order screen. Let's enter a customer number, 1200, and then drop down to the item grid, and using the Finder, we'll put a fluorescent desk lamp on the order, and let's enter a quantity of 1. Now we'll post the order, and notice that no error message appears even though we posted the order to a locked period. This is because when entering orders and purchase orders, we're not really creating a transaction. It's not until we ship the order that an actual transaction takes place. So in order for us to receive the error message, we'll need to ship the order, which we'll do by going to the Quantity Shipped field, and let's enter 1, and now let's attempt to post the transaction. And now the error message appears. The message says that the fiscal period is locked and the shipment cannot be posted. We'll close the message and click No for printing the order confirmation. Now let's change the fiscal period option from Error to Warning by going back to Common Services, opening the company profile, and the Options tab. Again, we'll change it from Error to Warning, and we'll save the change and close the screen. Let's return to Order Entry by opening OE Transactions, and notice that as soon as we attempt to open the Order Entry screen, we receive a warning about the locked period since the system knows that our login date falls within the locked period. Let's close the warning and use the navigation arrow to reopen our previous order. Let's ship the order by going to the Quantity Shipped field, and we'll enter 1, and when we hit the Post button, there's our warning again as expected. Let's close the warning and notice that unlike the error option, the warning option does allow the shipment to post to the subledger, as evidenced by the shipment number we can see here. We'll once again click No on the print screen and close the order. It's important to note at this point that under the warning option, the transaction is allowed to post to the subledger and travel all the way to the general ledger, but it will not be allowed to post to the GL as long as the period remains locked. Now let's go back to Common Services and open the company profile and the Options tab. And let's change our locked period notification to None and save the change and close the screen. And one last time, we'll go back to Order Entry and start a new order. We'll again enter customer 1200, and now we'll drop down to the grid and once again use the Finder and select the desk lamp. Let's enter a quantity of 1 and tab over and ship 1, and now let's hit Post, and as expected we receive no error or warning, and the posting of the shipment to the subledger occurs. So let's summarize the behavior of the fiscal period notification options. By selecting Error, you'll receive an error message notifying you of the locked period, and posting of the transaction will be prohibited. By selecting Warning, you'll receive a warning of the locked period, but the transaction will post to the subledger. And when None is selected, no notification of the locked period will be displayed, and the transaction will post to the subledger as well. And again, under both the warning and none options, the transactions will be allowed to travel to the general ledger but will not post to the GL as long as the period remains locked. If you do want to post these transactions to your general ledger, you would go back to Common Services, open the fiscal calendar, and unlock the period. So to recap, you can control posting of transactions to the correct periods by using features of the fiscal calendar and company profile in Sage Accpac ERP. Give us a call if you need assistance with this or any other feature in your Sage Accpac system. Well, that's it for this tutorial. Bye for now.